Don't use your jump pack when jumping off the silo launch rope. You can still glide without using the glider pack capacity and go plenty far before engaging it. You can skip reload animations by throwing ordnance. This is perfect for grenades with quick cooldowns and multiple available. The Echo 4 trail duration can be increased so you don't have to keep spamming it when you're looking for where to go. You can spawn your Digirunner to act as an extra layer of shields while you're low on health. You can filter out completed world items to make the map much cleaner. This may seem obvious, but make sure to use your rep kit often. Even though its primary use is to heal, some of them have great secondary benefits like reducing ordnance cooldown. Learn to lean into the gameplay loop your equipped rep kit provides to become an even more powerful killing machine. Fishing is a chill way to get loot and one of the best legendary grenades in the game. When you see the hook icon start to shake and the crosshair glows yellow, that's when to hit your grapple. Doing it before will almost ensure you get a junk item, so make sure to wait. The challenges tab is a great way to unlock cosmetics and functional upgrades for your Digirunner. If you focus on one single manufacturer, you can level up your Digirunner to make it faster, handle better, and more. Leave all of the side quests for the endgame if you want to maximize specializations, so that way you have fresh content to grind through. You can send items to the bank without having to go to the location by marking them in your inventory and selecting send to bank. I've been using this a ton for firmware items. You can slide to open containers. This is perfect when there's multiple containers next to each other. That way you don't have to select each one to open individually. You can jump your Digirunner to use it as a double jump to get to hard to reach areas. This almost acts as a triple jump, so keep in mind the next time you can't reach a ledge or the top of a building. If you find a weapon you like, but it's not the highest DPS, who cares? Not everything has to be min-maxed. Just enjoy the weapons you have and keep an eye out for it again. You can grapple the back of a Zerker to stun them. Make sure to inspect weapons and not just the base stats. This can do a better job of telling you how good a weapon is by describing things like crit chance that the base stats just don't go into. If you get trapped in a black hole, make sure to jump and dash to get away. Keep gear with great firmware stats to swap them into gear you care about later. This will destroy the old piece of gear, but you weren't going to use it anyways. I always like to keep at least one high crit or splash damage weapon in rotation so that if I go down I can quickly get back up. If you're running low on space or don't feel like doing inventory management, you can leave your rewards from missions and claimable packages in your inventory. They'll be on the bottom right of your equipment screen so you can collect them later. But just know that you could be missing out on great gear by not checking it. You can keybind your pickup as junk so that anything you don't feel like keeping will automatically be sellable at the vendor. This means you don't have to go into the UI at all to inventory manage, especially when running something like a boss farm that drops a ton of things like greens and blues. The absolute first thing you should do when starting a new playthrough is finish the down and outbound mission to unlock the Digirunner. There's nothing worse than trying to traverse an open map on foot, and it doesn't take much time to get through that mission. Class mods are crucial for creating insane builds, but you won't have them available until level 20. This is perfect for increasing stats above their maximum capacity. It may be tempting to spend SDU tokens across all of the weapons because they're so cheap, but hold off until you find the weapon types you really enjoy. Look up what legendary you want and farm it rather than banking on world drops. I know it's obvious, but RNG in this game is a lot rougher than Borderlands 3. Kill skills and stacks are integral to character building in Borderlands. Make sure you know how to keep each stack going and how to reactivate it if you lose it. Don't leave the bubble in the world when fighting the boss that spawns, or it'll stop the encounter completely. Pick up every quest you come across so that it's available when you need them, rather than having to go find them later on. Wait to complete legendary quests to get a high level legendary instead of getting it at a low level. The Vent of the Line side quest is a perfect example as it guarantees a legendary, but completing it too early may make that drop worthless after a few hours. Certain skills have requirements of other skills being active before you can receive the benefit. Ariba and Abajo in Rafa's Apophis Lance tree is a perfect example. Anytime a skill tree shows a line connecting the two, you will need to have the first one active. Playing with friends is a great way to maximize loot and XP gains. You can farm bosses, drill site activities, and other world events separately from your friends, but gain all of the XP, cash, and Iridium rewards from it. If someone's farming for a legendary, make sure to go check and see if it dropped for you. Don't be nervous to respec your skill tree, as it'll just cost a proportion of your total money, similar to when you have to reconstruct after dying. The fun of Borderlands is trying out a bunch of different builds, so make sure to give each tree and playstyle a chance. While some guns may feel underwhelming at first, make sure to check out the alt fire to see if they have interesting attributes like the ability to shoot blades or mini rockets. Sometimes these are great to keep in the back pocket for high damage needs. Backpack SDU is a main priority, so focus on missions to increase it. This is a looter shooter after all, so the more space you have to pick up weapons you care about or even just sell, the better. Nothing is worse than having a bunch of great loot drop and having to look through your inventory inventory to see what you need to get rid of to pick up the new stuff. Spending money on loot at the vendors isn't worth it in the early game, as the loot will quickly become obsolete even just after an hour of playing. Instead, save it for the big encore machines or re-speccing. Beat the game with your first character so you can skip the 1 through 30 grind for the rest that you want to try if your focus is the endgame. Check the lost loot anytime you travel back to a base to make sure a great piece of gear didn't fall through the cracks. Even if you don't need loot from crates, make sure to try and open them even if you just run past, as there's challenges for looting. If you come across safe houses while exploring, try to always capture them, as it will help connect the world and make it easy to fast travel around, especially if later missions are close to that safe house. Sometimes you don't want to bother with comparing the detailed stats of weapons and just want to figure out if it's worth keeping or not. The DPS stat can be an easy reference to determine whether or not something is good. I wouldn't do this for every gun that drops, but in the early game when you're getting tons of better guns all the time, this can be a quick way to get back into the action without loot management feeling overwhelming. It may seem like spending all of your skill points into a single tree is the best way to go, since each tree has the associated action skill and those skills typically benefit that ability. There are tons of cross-tree synergies that can be found even early on in the first tier or two of those trees. After you get down to the capstone skill, look and see if there's other skills that could benefit your build on other trees. Elemental efficiency is incredibly important in Borderlands 4 compared to previous titles in the series. Make sure to familiarize yourself with the element's strengths against various enemy types. Every manufacturer has key characteristics that make their weapons unique. Learn each one to easily identify guns you want to keep. Vault symbols are a great way to gain SDU tokens without having to do much work. These collectibles can be found in the map, so always be checking when you're in a new area. Your drone will sometimes even take you right to them. And lastly, please just have fun. Games shouldn't always be about min-maxing. Sometimes it's best to just let yourself relax and play games the way you want to. It can be good to ignore the outside noise and opinions and let yourself get lost in something that's so entertaining. For my go-to Rafa build, check out the video on the left. To get caught up on the entire Borderlands story, the video on the right is perfect for you.